It was a rainy day, the rain was coming down hard. Tommy looked out of his window. It was too wet to play outside. He was bored. Tommy went to his playroom. His toy box was in the corner. It was overflowing with toys. Tommy liked to play with all of his toys.
What should I do today?
Tommy opened his toy box. He looked at all of his toys. He saw his teddy bear, Bartholomew. Bartholomew looked sad.
What's wrong, Bartholomew?
"I've lost my button eye," said Bartholomew. "I can't see without it." Tommy looked around the toy box. He saw his toy soldier, Captain Blaze. Captain Blaze was missing his sword.
"I need my sword to fight dragons."
Tommy felt sorry for his toys. He wished he could help them find their missing pieces. Suddenly the toy box started to glow. The glow became brighter and brighter. Tommy closed his eyes. When he opened them again, something amazing had happened. Captain Blaze was no longer a toy. He was alive. He was standing right in front of Tommy. Captain Blaze was small, but he was very brave.
"Tommy, we need your help. Our missing pieces are lost in the Toybox lands. Will you help us find them?"
The Toybox lands? Of course I'll help.
Section 5, Into the Toy Box. This is where the adventure truly begins, a place where imagination knows no bounds and the ordinary becomes extraordinary.
Captain Blaze held out his hand, his eyes twinkling with a sense of purpose and excitement. "Come with me," he said, his voice filled with warmth and assurance.
Tommy took it, feeling a surge of courage and curiosity. He had always dreamed of adventures like this, and now it was happening. As soon as their hands touched, Tommy began to shrink. It was as if the world around him was expanding, or perhaps he was becoming part of a new, wondrous world. He shrunk smaller and smaller, until he was the same size as Captain Blaze. The transformation was seamless, and Tommy felt a strange but exhilarating sense of belonging.
"Welcome to the Toybox lands," Captain Blaze exclaimed, his voice echoing with pride and joy. "This is a place where toys come to life, and every corner holds a new adventure."
He pointed to the toy box, which now seemed to pulse with a magical energy. Tommy's eyes widened with wonder as he realized the true potential of this enchanted place. It no longer looked like a toy box. The once simple container had transformed into something far more magnificent, a gateway to endless possibilities. It looked like a magical doorway. The light emanating from it was inviting, promising adventures beyond Tommy's wildest dreams. He felt a mix of excitement and anticipation as he prepared to step through. With a deep breath, Tommy stepped through the portal. The world on the other side was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was a land where toys ruled, and every day was filled with fun and excitement. The Toybox lands were vibrant and full of life. Toy soldiers marched in perfect harmony, dolls danced gracefully, and action figures performed daring feats. It was a place where imagination came to life. Tommy quickly made new friends. There was Sparkle, the fairy doll with wings that shimmered in the sunlight, and Max, the action figure with a heart of gold. Together they explored the wonders of the Toybox lands. They discovered hidden treasures, solved ancient puzzles, and faced challenges that tested their bravery and wit. Each adventure brought them closer together, forging bonds that would last a lifetime. At the end of each day, they celebrated their victories with grand feasts and spectacular fireworks. The sky would light up with colors, reflecting the joy and camaraderie of the Toybox lands. As Tommy looked back at the portal, he felt a deep sense of belonging. The Toybox lands had become his second home, a place where he could be himself and live out his wildest dreams. With a promise to return, Tommy waved goodbye to his new friends. He knew that the Toybox lands would always be there, waiting for him to come back and continue the adventure. Stepping back through the portal, Tommy returned to the real world. But he carried with him the memories of his incredible journey and the knowledge that magic was real, if only you believed. Holding Captain Blaze in his hand, Tommy smiled. He knew that the adventure was far from over. The Toybox lands were just a step away, and he couldn't wait to return. Placing Captain Blaze on his shelf, Tommy looked at him with fondness. The toy soldier was more than just a toy. He was a friend, a guide, and a reminder of the magic that lay within the Toybox. As Tommy lay in bed that night, he dreamed of the Toybox lands. He knew that his adventures were just beginning and that the magic of the Toybox would always be a part of him. The stars twinkled in the night sky, a reminder of the endless possibilities that awaited. Tommy drifted off to sleep, his heart full of wonder and excitement for the adventures yet to come. And so the story of Tommy and the Toybox Lands continues, a tale of magic, friendship, and endless adventure. To be continued. Section 6. The Land of Pillows and Blankets. Tommy and Captain Blaze stepped into the Toybox Lands. The first land they came to was the land of pillows and blankets. There were mountains of soft pillows. There were rivers of fluffy blankets.
Look!
He pointed to a mountain of pillows. Bartholomew was peeking out from behind it.
We need to go to the underbed jungle. It's a mysterious place where many things get lost and found.
I think I lost my eye there. It was my favorite toy eye from my teddy bear, and I can't sleep without it.
The underbed jungle was dark and scary. Shadows danced on the walls, and the air was thick with the scent of forgotten treasures. There were tall towers of building blocks. They stood like ancient ruins, waiting to be explored by brave adventurers. There were tangled vines of toy cars. They twisted and turned, creating a maze that only the most daring could navigate. Tommy and his friends had to be very careful. One wrong step, and they could be lost forever in the jungle of toys.
I think I see something. It looks like a treasure chest, but it's covered in dust and cobwebs,
cried Captain Blaze. He was the leader of their little expedition, always ready for an adventure. He pointed to a clump of building blocks. They were arranged in a way that looked like a hidden entrance to a secret cave. The children crawled under the bed, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. They whispered to each other, their voices filled with excitement and a hint of fear. Tommy brushed away the dust from an old toy. It was a forgotten relic from a time long past, a reminder of adventures they had once had. They found a small box hidden among the toys. With trembling hands, they opened it, revealing a collection of lost treasures. Their eyes widened with wonder as they looked at the treasures inside. There were marbles, tiny action figures, and even a few coins. And there it was, the toy eye that Tommy had lost. He held it up triumphantly, a smile spreading across his face. The children celebrated their victory, hugging each other and laughing. They had braved the underbed jungle and come out victorious. They crawled out from under the bed, their faces flushed with excitement. They had faced their fears and found their lost treasures. Tommy carefully placed the toy eye back on his teddy bear. It was a small victory, but it meant the world to him. They sat in a circle, talking and laughing about their adventure. The underbed jungle was no longer a place of fear, but a place of wonder and discovery. As they sat there, Tommy realized that the real treasure was the adventure they had shared. It was a memory they would cherish forever. They got up, ready for their next adventure. The underbed jungle had been conquered, but there were many more adventures waiting for them. With laughter and shouts, they ran out of the room, ready to face whatever challenges came their way. The world was full of mysteries, and they were ready to explore them all. The room was quiet once more, the toys scattered on the floor like silent witnesses to the adventure that had just taken place. The underbed jungle had been tamed, but its magic would always remain. Tommy, Captain Blaze, and Bartholomew searched the clump of building blocks. Finally, they found what they were looking for: Bartholomew's button eye and Captain Blaze's sword.
Hooray!
Shouted Tommy. He was so happy that he had helped his friends find their missing pieces. Tommy and his friends returned to the entrance of the Toybox Lands. The magical adventure they had embarked on was coming to an end. The vibrant colors and whimsical characters of Toybox Lands had been a dream come true for Tommy and his friends. They had explored every nook and cranny, met fascinating characters, and experienced the kind of joy that only a child's imagination could conjure. But now, it was time to say goodbye. It was time for Tommy to go home. The sun was setting, casting a golden hue over the land, signaling the end of their fantastical journey. Tommy felt a mix of emotions: sadness for leaving behind the magical world, but also a sense of contentment and fulfillment. He knew that the memories he made would stay with him forever. He waved goodbye to the friends he had made, each one holding a special place in his heart. He closed his eyes and held out his hand to Captain Blaze. Captain Blaze, the brave and valiant leader of the toy soldiers, had been his constant companion throughout the adventure. Tommy felt a surge of gratitude for the courage and wisdom Captain Blaze had imparted. As he held out his hand, he could almost feel the warmth and strength of his tiny friend. It was a moment of connection, a silent promise that their bond would remain unbroken. When he opened his eyes, he was back in his playroom. The familiar surroundings brought a sense of comfort and security. The walls adorned with posters of his favorite superheroes, the shelves lined with books and toys, and the soft glow of the nightlight. All these elements made his playroom a sanctuary. It was a stark contrast to the vibrant and unpredictable world of Toybox lands, but it was home. The Toybox was no longer glowing. The magical aura that had once surrounded it had faded, leaving behind an ordinary wooden box. But to Tommy it was far from ordinary. It was a portal to a world of endless possibilities, a gateway to adventures that transcended the boundaries of reality. He knew that the magic was still there, hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to reveal itself again. Tommy looked at his toys. Each one held a story, a memory of the adventures they had shared. The toy soldiers, the stuffed animals, the action figures. They were more than just playthings. They were his companions, his confidants, his heroes. As he gazed at them, he felt a deep sense of appreciation for the joy and wonder they brought into his life. They seemed to be smiling at him. It was as if they were acknowledging the bond they shared, a bond forged through countless hours of play and imagination. Tommy smiled back, knowing that no matter where his adventures took him, his toys would always be there, ready to embark on the next journey. And with that thought, he felt a sense of peace, knowing that the magic of Toybox lands would always be a part of him. Tommy knew that he would never forget his adventure in the Toybox lands. He had made new friends and learned the importance of teamwork, and he knew that if he ever needed an adventure again, all he had to do was open his toy box. The Toybox lands, with all its magic and wonder, would be waiting for him.